Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another Baddies Gone Wild review, so let's just get right into it. So this episode of Baddies Gone Wild picks up where the last one left off, where Natalie has all the baddies on the top roof because she's getting ready to bring them inside so that they can pick their rooms. But before they could even go inside to pick which rooms they wanted, Teetee and Bahati started fighting with each other again, and we know they're beefing because Teetee started with Bahati in last week's episode. She was making fun of Bahati's wig for no reason. Bahati wasn't bothering anybody, so they ended up fighting on the bus. They fought when they were outside of the house, and now they're fighting again on the top roof. Now, I will say I do like that Bahati will defend herself and she'll fight even if she wins or loses. However, this fight on the top roof between her and Teetee, she was definitely losing. Teetee was definitely winning that fight. And while Teetee and Bahati was fighting, all of a sudden Cupcake comes out of nowhere and swings on Bahati. So Daisy sees this and Daisy runs over there and she pops Cupcake in the back of the head. And look, Cupcake deserved that because I don't understand why Cupcake decided to get involved in that fight. I know Cupcake is friends with Teetee, but Teetee was handling Bahati herself. Nobody needed to jump in. Then after Daisy ends up popping Cupcake in the back of the head for trying to jump Bahati, all of a sudden Coco is over there by Teetee and Bahati while they're fighting, and it either looks like she's trying to break up the fight or she's trying to hit Bahati. Now Daisy felt like, Coco was trying to hit Bahati, and she was there, I wasn't, so she must have seen Coco try to hit Bahati, and it wasn't Coco trying to break up the fight. So she starts fighting Coco at this point, and she definitely wins the first round that they have. But then while they're still on the roof, Coco wants to fight again, and at first it looks like Daisy is getting Coco, but then Daisy decides to put her head down and she starts swinging blindly, and that's when Coco was able to, get some hits in on Coco. So I'll say the second round that they had on the roof was a tie. Now Coco claims that the reason why she went over there and tried to hit Bahati was because Bahati was trying to bite Teetee on the leg. Now Bahati claims that she was not trying to bite Teetee, but that's absolutely what it looked like to me. It looked like she was trying to bite Teetee's leg like a chicken wing. I don't know, man. I'm pretty much tired of all the biting on these shows. First, Jayla got bit by Gretchen, then Jayla bit, Lex, and then Lex bit Jayla, and then on the Bad Girls Club, Rima bit Christina, and Red bit Natalie. It's just too much damn biting on this show, and I don't understand. Then after that fight is broken up, now Rella wants to fight Bahati again. They fought on the bus a couple of times, and it was for a really stupid reason. After Teetee tried to make fun of Bahati's wig, Rella did reach over and tried to give Bahati her head wrap, and because Bahati did not want her head wrap, she decided to fight her on the bus. Now, she got exactly what she was looking for when she fought Bahati on that bus because her face was all scratched up, okay? So I'm not mad at Rella for wanting to fight Bahati again on the rooftop because if somebody scratched my face up like that, I would want to fight them again too. But this fight between the two of them was kind of lame. I think it was a tie because neither one of them was really doing anything. They were mainly scratching each other, which I don't like, but that fight was kind of lame between the two of them. Then Natalie tells them to all stop fighting so that they can go inside the house and pick their rooms, and then she can do a toast with them before she decides to leave. Now, surprisingly, when the girls were looking for their rooms, nobody ended up fighting just yet over the room on the first day, but Hurricane M decides to room with Gloss Up, then Cupcake and Teetee end up getting the master bedroom. Then Shay ends up rooming with Coco and Oxy and Jaden, and they end up pushing the beds together so that there's enough room for all of them. And then Daisy and Bahati end up deciding to room together, which I was not surprised about because at the end of the day, the two of them had each other's back in this episode. Well, Daisy basically had Bahati's back throughout the first and second episode. And then Janelle's, Erica, and Rella end up rooming together as well. Now, Bahati did say that she wants the master bedroom. So she did say she was going to stay in the room with Daisy for the first night, and then the next day she was going to go upstairs and take that master bedroom. Now, I don't understand the point of that. If she wanted that master bedroom, she should have went after it the first day instead of waiting until the next day to do it, but that's what she wanted to do. Once all the girls ended up picking their rooms, they go downstairs to do a toast with Natalie, and all of a sudden Coco and Daisy start going back and forth with each other, and Coco wants to fight Daisy again, okay? So they start fighting, and the way that Daisy ran at Coco swinging had me cracking up. I'm sorry. She was swinging her arms like they were windmills, and she was running at her, okay? And she caught Coco in the eye. Coco's eye was swollen and messed up. I was like, damn, she really popped her in the eye real good. And tell me why when Daisy and Coco were fighting, Cupcake comes out of nowhere and tries to swing on Daisy while she's already fighting Coco. Like, why the fuck does Cupcake keep trying to jump people? Like, it makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, Cupcake keeps trying to jump into other people's fights, and I'm really getting annoyed by it. Then when that fight gets broken up, Janelle's and Shay start going back and forth because Janelle still feels some type of way about the fact that Shay had an issue with girls who didn't go to the auditions being casted. And at first in last week's episode, I thought it was petty that Shay even cared about that because she shouldn't be mad at the girls. She should be mad at production and the casting team because they're the ones that casted girls who didn't go to the auditions. But part of me understands where she's coming from because a lot of people have said that they don't like that, Zeus has all these girls show up to the auditions and then most of the girls that show up to the auditions don't end up getting picked. Usually they only pick like one or two girls from the auditions, really wasting people's time. So I do kind of understand where she was coming from, even though I do still think that it was a little bit petty. But Janelle's, I feel like she was trying to get a moment in front of Natalie, and that's the reason why she wanted to fight Shay again, because honestly, there was no point in the two of them fighting again. So Janelle's and Shay start fighting, and Shay definitely whooped up Janelle's real quick. I mean, she didn't do a lot of damage to Janelle's, but she definitely won that fight. Janelle's is really pretty and she has a nice body, but to me, so far, it seems like she can't really fight. Now, during this fight between Shay and Janelle's, it looked like Cupcake jumped in, but then when I watched it in slow motion, it looked like Janelle's grabbed Cupcake and kind of pushed Cupcake into their fight. So that was kind of a weird scene for me in this episode. I definitely rewind that a couple of times, and that's exactly what it looked like. So after all the fighting happens, Natalie finally ends up leaving like the fans have been saying that they wanted. They said that they wanted a show where Natalie is not a part of the cast and we don't see her that often. So she did end up leaving. So the fans definitely got what they wanted. And once she leaves, that's when Jaden decides to go upstairs and talk to Daisy and Bahati. And Bahati tells Jaden that she felt some type of way, like her feelings were hurt because on the bus when she was being picked on about her wig by Teetee, she said that Jaden was laughing and she felt some type of way about it. I do like that Jaden was open to hearing Bahati's feelings, and she did end up apologizing to Bahati, and the two of them hugged it out. I definitely liked that scene, and I like that Jaden gave Bahati her props because she definitely got in the paint when all those people started those fights with her. Now, all the drama finally ended up coming to an end, though, and the girls were having such a good time. They all ended up jumping in the pool, and I will say that to me, Shay was the life of this episode because she was a lot of fun to me in this episode. She got naked, she was partying with all the girls, she jumped in the pool, she even ended up having a makeout session in the jacuzzi with Ming Lee, which I thought was pretty funny. I don't like that Janelle's was kind of acting like a hater. I know she doesn't like Shay, but saying that she looked a mess when she was naked is crazy. I think Shay looked good, and I think Janelle's was kind of being a little bit of a hater. But the fun in the pool ended up coming to an end because Daisy thought it was okay to stir up some drama. I was kind of not feeling her towards the end of this episode because I think that she was doing too much. I'm not saying that she was being a bully, but she was definitely acting like a mean girl. Because while they're all chilling outside in the pool, all of a sudden Daisy brings up the issues that Hurricane M has with Jaden, even though the two of them already fought twice already. They fought on the bus in the first episode and then they fought again in front of the house. I don't understand why they needed to fight again because Hurricane M already knows that she can beat Jaden. She already beat her twice. So basically Daisy starts asking Hurricane M what her issue is with Jaden, and that's when Hurricane M starts bringing up the fact that 2 years ago Jaden's mom was saying the N-word and Jaden's mom is white and she almost fought Jaden's mom. And so Jaden said that the two of them had already talked about that though 2 years ago and they already squashed it. So the fact that Hurricane M is using that throughout this show kind of makes me look at her a little bit sideways. So then Hurricane M starts saying that she wants to fight and Jaden's saying that she doesn't want to fight, but then she's saying that she needs to put her cap over her hair, so people are thinking that she might want to fight, so they were kind of getting confused by Jaden. And then that's when Daisy starts, acting like a mean girl because she starts basically calling Jaden a punk, telling her that if somebody wanted to fight her, she should be trying to fight them and not be ducking the fade. But it's like Jaden already fought Hurricane M twice already and she lost, so there's no point in her continuously fighting this girl over something that happened 2 years ago. So I was definitely looking at Daisy sideways because why are you trying to force this girl to fight if she doesn't want to? So Hurricane M starts saying that if she fights Jaden when Jaden is saying that she doesn't want to fight, everybody's going to say that she's a bully, and that's when Coco gets involved and she starts saying that nobody's going to think she's a bully if she fights, Jaden, and that she needs to just get it over with. So Hurricane M starts fighting Jaden and she's definitely whooping Jaden, like she's beating her like she did the last 2 times the two of them fought, which is why Jaden probably did not want to fight her again. At the end, Jaden was grabbing onto Hurricane M's hair and she wouldn't let go for a minute, but as far as the fight is concerned, Hurricane M definitely won. Now, after all the fighting goes down, they all end up going to the club to meet up with Natalie, and they were all having a good time at this club. I mean, it was fun watching them get together and have a good time without any drama. Even though those girls were fighting each other in the house, when they went to the club, all of them were dancing with each other and having a good time. This is something we really don't get to see on Baddies. We don't really get to see them have fun because there's too many alliances, there's too much beefing and fighting all the time. So watching the girls have fun in the pool together on this show and watching them dance and have a great time at the club without any fights breaking out was definitely a breath of fresh air. Now, even though the girls had a good time when they went out to the club, when they got back to the house, things took a turn for the worse because Daisy decided that she wanted to play peacemaker between some of the girls. So she ended up pulling Shay, Cupcake, and a couple of the other girls into the bathroom, and she closes the door. Now, Jaden is walking around the house because she wants to go to bed, and she shares a room with Shay, who's her friend in the house. So she was looking for Shay, and she sees that the door is closed to the bathroom, so she ends up opening it, okay? Which I don't think was right. I think she should have knocked first, but she ends up opening the door, and basically Daisy starts pushing her. Like, Daisy starts going off on her, pushing and shoving her really hard, and all of a sudden Jaden's reflexes end up kicking in and she swings on Daisy, which was a mistake because she ends up getting whooped by Daisy, okay? Absolutely whooped by Daisy. But she did say in her confessional that she wasn't thinking when she swung on Daisy because she knows that Daisy could beat her up. So Daisy starts whooping the hell out of Jaden in the corner, okay? Which I think she was doing too much. Even Teetee went over there and broke up the fight because honestly, Daisy did not have to beat that girl up like that. Yes, Jaden swung on her, but she swung on her because Daisy kept pushing and shoving her really hard. Like, she did not have to do that. But she didn't have to beat that girl up like that in the corner. Like, all she had to do was hit her a couple of times and that was it. She was whooping her in that damn corner to the point where the other girls had to break that up. And I didn't really like the way that that looked. Now, the next day, Daisy ends up waking up, and obviously she shares a room with Bahati, and she tells Bahati that she's going upstairs to the master bedroom and she's sleeping in that room. So Bahati gets up and follows behind her. Now, Bahati did end up getting in the comment section on social media yesterday when the episode dropped, saying that she wasn't following behind Daisy, that Cupcake wanted to fight her the night before, but production told her not to. So that's the reason why she fought her the next morning. I don't believe that. I think she went up there following behind Daisy, and that's the reason why, you know, she did it. But hey, I wasn't there and I'm not in her mind, so I really don't know. So Daisy and Bahati end up busting into Teetee and Cupcake's room, telling them that they're taking over the room and that they're sleeping in there now. And then Bahati starts taking Cupcake's name off the door and she puts her own name on the door. So Cupcake and Bahati are pushing and pulling at each other, and all of a sudden they start fighting, and Bahati was whooping Cupcake, okay? Bahati was definitely beating the hell out of Cupcake. I don't know why Cupcake even kept trying to fight that girl because got beat up every single time. So after that fight ends up getting broken up, then Bahati ends up getting into Cupcake's bed. And so basically Cupcake runs over there to try to get Bahati out of the bed. And all of a sudden Bahati starts whooping Cupcake again, literally whooping Cupcake again. I was like, why the hell does Cupcake keep trying to fight this girl when Cupcake keeps losing? But after that fight ends up getting broken up, then Teetee starts calling Bahati a follower because she feels like she's following up behind Daisy, which is what I thought too. I mean, Bahati can stand on her own, she already has, but she definitely was following behind Daisy when she went up to that room. If she would have went up there by herself, I would have said, okay, she's not being a follower, because she did say the night before that she was going to go into that room the next morning and try to get the master bedroom. But because she waited for Daisy to say something to her, that's why it looks like she was being a follower. Then Cupcake runs at Bahati again, and I just had to put my hand over my head and just shake my head because I just can't believe that Cupcake kept running at Bahati to get beat up every single time. I just did not understand it. Like, I have to just say, I was exhausted watching Cupcake get beat up. I'm sorry, I was exhausted from it. So then that's when Daisy starts saying that she's sleeping in that room and she's taking Teetee's bed, and that's when Teetee starts calling Daisy weird, which I did think it was weird because I just didn't understand why Daisy was acting like that. I mean, I understand why Bahati did what she did because she doesn't like Cupcake and Cupcake has that room. Cupcake tried to jump her, so I get that. But Daisy doing it was kind of weird to me because I just didn't understand why Daisy was up there being extra. But then that's when the two of them got into each other's face, Teetee and Daisy did. And then they start fighting each other and the episode cut there. Now, to me, I feel like Teetee can fight, but so can Daisy. So I don't know who's going to win it. I don't know if it's going to be a tie, but we'll have to wait until next week's episode to see. Now, I did vote for the MVB for this episode, okay? I voted last week too. Last week I voted for Bahati because she got ganged up on and she defended herself. This week I didn't vote for Bahati or Daisy. And I know y'all are not gonna agree with who I voted for, but I voted for Shay. The reason why I voted for Shay is because to me, she was the life of this episode. She was a lot of fun. When they got into the pool, she was the one that got everything started. She was having a lot of fun. She got naked. She was making out with people. And then when she was on the Baddies bus and she was on her way to walk down the steps to get into the club, she tripped and she laughed it off and she kept going. And to me, I like that. So I ended up voting for Shay. I know people won't agree with me, but I felt like Shay was really likable in this episode. I felt like Daisy was doing too much. She was acting like a mean girl, and I didn't vote for Bahati because I just felt like, you know, she did too much when she went up to that room with Daisy. If she would have went up there by herself, to me, that would have been keeping her word to what she said she was going to do the day before. But because she waited for Daisy to give her the green light to do it, it made her look like a follower. So that's why I did not vote for her. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Baddies Gone Wild. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.